All right, so this is like a part two to this graph that I did. I did the mindset part. I did a video on this, and now I'm doing relationships. And this is like how I build relationships as a producer. So first, cold DMing. I love to send screen recordings of melodies slash beats to producers I want to work with or artists. Two examples of this working are me sending "would love to work. Here's some of mine. What's a good email to send samples to?" and then a screen recording of some of my work, which is a sample I made. And then both of these guys sent me their number. I definitely recommend sending screen recordings when DMing people instead of just sending "what's your loop email" or something. It's one way to get the person to know if you're actually fire enough to work with them or not. Making friends over networking. So I try to hit people up acting like a person, trying to comment on / talk about shit other than music. The producers you're trying to work with most of the time probably get hit up every single day asking to work on music, or just getting DMs related to music. Trying to be a person and commenting about stuff and trying to start conversations with them on stuff other than music is important. I usually try to reply to people's stories if they like post, like if they're doing something or just anything related to their personal life outside of music. I try to just spark up conversations by replying to stories. And then if you start working with someone, I love to try to hop on calls to cook up with them or link in person. Definitely just overall trying to look at it as making friends as opposed to like networking or trying to get a connection. Next, networking horizontally. Come up with people on your level. Eventually they will be the people you get most of your placements from. So obviously you want to aim for the bigger producers to work with, but at the same time you should definitely try to get people who are on the same level as you and work with them, because at the end of the day they're in the same boat as you and they probably have the same problems and goals as you. So it's good to bounce ideas off of them, work with them, figure shit out alongside them. I love to always try to keep people around me who are on the same level as me, trying to do the same things that I'm doing. I have the same problems that I do, so I could just talk to them. Sending for big artists plus building with smaller artists at the same time. I work with people I like. So obviously you want to try to send for like Drake, Future, all the big artists, but I feel like you should definitely build with smaller artists at the same time, because if you do end up catching a snippet like I did with like Party, and it may never drop. That goes for getting a snippet with like any big artist. It may never drop, or it may take years to drop. I am going about building my catalog up and getting songs out on DSPs with smaller artists that I like, because it's just a way to grow your catalog while you wait for the bigger placements to come. Sending out, I love to send out like 5 to 7 samples a week max, no BCC, and then 5 to 7 starters every once in a while, and then sending beats to artists frequently. I try to text, and then I use Mail Suite, which used to be Mail Track, and use a send out note for sending out stuff. So yeah, 5 to 7 samples a week max, no BCC, which is the email like mass send out thing. You put everyone's email into the BCC section. And that's how like big producers' emails get leaked half the time. So I try not to do that. And most people don't like being sent a BCC email anyway nowadays. Sending to them either individually or using a campaign sender like Mail Suite or Gmass. One of those is always good. And then it doesn't have to be exactly 5 to 7. It could be a little more, a little less. I like to send starters every once in a while to producers that I work with to get labs back. And then sending beats to artists frequently. And I try to text producers too, not just artists, because it's always good. I feel like it's a better connection to have their number. It's a more close relationship type of thing. I always try to get the number when I'm hitting up people to work. And then send out notes. I just have this on like a note on my phone, but pretty much this is how I send or keep track of sending out to producers, artists, and engineers. And it goes like this. So my priority connections are first, and then the phone numbers of the priority connections are the first like subcategory, and then I have the producer's name and then what they want. So this producer 1 text samples every 2 days, producer 2 text lots of samples every 2 days, and then producer 3 best sample starters. Next is the priority connections emails, and I individually send these. So I have a list of all the emails I send to with the campaign on Mail Suite, and then I also have individual emails I send to for like curated packs if they need specific stuff. Just stuff I don't send to the main list, or exclusive stuff I send to the people in the priority connections email section. And then I have the producer's name, email, and then what they want. And then last section, other producers slash boys. So this is like other producers I work with that are not as much of a connection, and then also like my producer friends. It's not that they're like less than the priority connections, but my priority connections are usually like higher up producers. For this section, I have the phone numbers and Discords, and then their name and then what they want. Same thing here, their name and what they want. That's pretty much how I organize my send out lists. For the artists and engineers notes, way less subcategories. There's just the producer's name and what they want, pretty much. If they have an email or number. The only subcategories I have for the artists and engineers lists are if I have their number or their email. And then I just have the name and then what they want. And if it's the email, I have their name, email, and then what they want, pretty much. So that's the entire graph. And now I did the relationships section of this. I'll see you guys in the next video.